What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. Okay, so we're going to do a series of reactions. So we're going to react to some of this different stuff that's going on in the news, as well as grocery prices and affordability and all that. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video. And if you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel.
In 2023, as a couple, we spent $5,992 on groceries. In 2024, that jumped to $7,919, a 32% increase. And in 2025, we're on track to hit $9,686, another 22% increase. That's about $800 per month or $400 per person. And we're being told this will likely go up again in 2026. We eat healthy. Most of our meals are cooked completely from scratch. Greek yogurt, fresh berries, veggies, and protein every single day. I personally eat out maybe 3 or 4 times per month max. Honestly, these increases are scary. Eating a healthy, balanced diet shouldn't be a luxury, but right now it feels like it is for the average earning person. How much is your household spending on groceries each month, and where are you located? Let me know in the comments.
Well, first off, she did a good job of keeping track of how much they spend every year. But you're going to see an increase. That's normal, a 2% increase. I mean, inflation, we do see that every year. And so that's a normal rate. But what she's showing there is much more than 2%. And so that's the problem. That's where people are right now. People are struggling. Back in 2022, June of 2022, we saw 9.1% inflation in that month. And that was the highest that we've seen in 40 years. But inflation came down. And it came down when President Trump came into office. Inflation was down to 3%. And then it went down even lower than that the first couple of months during Trump's administration. And then last month it went back up to 3%, and then it dropped down to 2.7%. That's the latest numbers. However, the latest numbers we need to take a real look at, because the latest numbers are showing 2.7%, but we don't have October information, and we only have half of November information. And so that's a problem. So the numbers right now, that 2.7%, I don't believe that for a minute. It's probably much higher than that because you don't have the information for rent and housing. When do people pay rent? The first of the month. A lot of people pay their mortgage the first of the month. So we don't have that information. And so what the Bureau of Labor Statistics had to do is they had to just do an estimate. They don't have that information. So they estimated this is what it would probably be, but we don't know that for a fact. And so when we get December numbers in January, we'll have a better idea of what really is going on when it comes to inflation. But people are struggling, and they're telling politicians they're struggling, and some politicians aren't paying attention. President Trump is saying that this is a hoax. President Trump is saying that this isn't real. But people know it's real. We all know it's real. Anytime we go shopping, we know it's real.
The only cost that's really up is beef, and the fake news only wants to talk about beef. And what I did is I made it possible for those people to survive. They're incredible people, but they were being decimated by other countries, and I didn't want that to happen. So prices are way down, groceries are down, everything's down, energy's way down, even interest rates with a bad chairman of the Fed. He's terrible, he's a fool, but even interest rates are down. So our country has never done better. We're going to take in, I think, $21 trillion this year. No country has ever taken in more than 3. And we're going to take in $21 trillion of investments because of the tariffs. If we didn't have tariffs, we would be a mess. We would be a national security problem.
Prices aren't going down. They're going up, if anything. And you might find certain items that go down, but guess what? Certain other items go up even higher. And so just because eggs are down, and understand when it comes to eggs are going to go up and down. The beginning of the year, we had the bird flu. Yes, prices went up with eggs, and then it came back down after things settled down. So that's going to happen when it comes to eggs. But now we're looking at beef, and we're looking at some of these other products, and the prices are really high. They're skyrocketing. And so you can't say, well, prices are coming down. Look, egg prices are going down. I saw this funny clip of a guy in the grocery store, and he had his cart, and he's pushing it through the grocery store, and he goes and he looks at eggs, and he's like, look, egg prices are down. Prices are coming down. And so he gets like 2 dozen eggs, and he puts it in his cart. And then he goes to the butcher to see how much the cost of beef is. And he looks at beef and he's like, I can't afford this. This is too expensive. And then he goes back to where the eggs are and he says, well, you know what? I'll get some more eggs. And so he grabs some more eggs. And then he goes to another area and he looks at the prices. He's like, those prices are really high too. What's going on? Then he goes back to where he got eggs, and then he gets another 2 dozen eggs. So he just kept doing that. Yes, if you just want to eat eggs, things are great. But if you want to buy other things, guess what? Those prices are going up. And so you have to balance everything. When you get to the checkout, you're still going to be paying over $100 and walking out with two bags of groceries.
Grocery prices have gotten legitimately out of control expensive. I live in New York City, which is already a very expensive area. I'm also a financial planner, so I see people's budgets all the time. And no matter where people live, I have seen this consistent pattern of grocery prices eating up people's budgets and becoming more and more expensive over time. Like, here are some videos of prices that I took in my grocery store a couple days ago. I know that produce is typically expensive, but these prices are beyond what I have seen. Even like for staples, it is so unbelievably expensive. And I think it's so important to continuously talk about just how bad inflation has gotten for a lot of people, because it is specifically hitting these industries and sectors that people have to pay for. You have to pay for food. You have to eat. It's a non-negotiable expense. And you also grocery shop frequently because you have to keep buying food. And so again, it's a very visceral thing where people are seeing these high prices over and over again and are having to adjust their budgets accordingly.
Yes, I would agree with her. Grocery prices affects everyone. However, it affects the people who are at the lower end of the spectrum more. Working class, poor people. That's who it's affecting the most, because those people have to go to the store and pay the same as a rich person. A rich person is not affected in the same manner because they can afford to buy some of these groceries. Whereas if you're poor, you're going to be struggling. And especially if you're poor on a fixed income, let's say you're retired, you're really going to be struggling because you're not getting raises from your job or anything like that. And so you just have to deal with the money that you get every month. You're going to have to make that stretch at the grocery store, knowing that prices are getting higher. And when we look at people are receiving Social Security benefits they receive that cost of living adjustment every year. Guess what? That's not enough. We're looking right now, cost of living adjustment, 2.8%. If inflation goes higher than 2.8%, which it probably will, although it did drop to 2.7% for November, it's probably going to go up in December and in January and on down the line. So those people are going to be struggling because their purchasing power is dwindling and the cost of groceries are continuing to rise. Okay, so that's all we have for today. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and we'll talk to you in the next one. Bye. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.